Welcome back to PWR Network. The world in your hands. Ann Arbor, Michigan is the broadcast home of PWR Network, LLC. And today we have a special guest on Lillian's interview. Her name is Tamara Shorts, and she is the first new Canadian music artist, and she released her first single hit called Yeah, Right, and it's available to be purchased or heard on our show. Since Ty grew up with music surrounding her, this should be a very interesting interview. So good afternoon, Ty. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How's the weather up in Canada?
It's very cold. We're hitting minus 30 today. We're supposed to get about another 5 to 10 centimeters of snow tonight. Would you like some? I can send some to you.
Actually, I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and we're supposed to get, now I can't do it in metric, so you're going to have to convert. We're getting 2 to 3 inches tonight of snow and another 2 inches tomorrow. However,
Great.
I understand that Boston, Massachusetts, and all of New England, including Maine, have a lot of snow coming in, about 18 inches.
Wow.
On about 6 feet of snow that they already have. So if you run out of snow in Canada, do I have a fire sale for you?
Oh boy, thank you. I appreciate that.
I knew you would be delighted. And speaking of fire sales, you completed your first album. Why don't you tell our audience just about your Yeah, Right album and a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I haven't completed an album yet. I'm still working on it, but my single is out. It's called Yeah, Right, and it's by Kronk and Ty. It was created back in 2011, but it didn't reach media and public until now, which it's really great. And if you would like to catch it, it's on sale at mvpondemand.com. You just go there and then hit the Core Addict store, and then you can find it there. And there's also a bio where you can listen to my song and read a bit about me. And if you like the song, then you can buy it. And yeah.
Yeah, so what kind of music is Yeah, Right?
It's kind of fresh. It's pop mixed with a tiny bit of rap. It's kind of upbeat, but it's a sad song. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's kind of like when people ask me about what I'm working on, I give them a couple of films like Brave New World, Crash Landing with Space Odyssey 2001. And people kind of look at me, I guess, the same way they look at you. But
Yeah,
if
probably.
they're bright enough, they will figure it out under further contemplation. So what got you started in the music business in the first place?
Well, when I was just a little kid, my dad was in a band called Back to Back, so I used to go to band practices with him. And he bought me my very first keyboard when I was just 5, and I started singing when I was 4, and playing guitar when I was 15, songwriting when I was 12. I've been around music my entire life. I've been in talent competitions, school plays, church choirs, you name it, I was there.
You mean they didn't ask you to audition for Perfect Pitch?
I wanted to, and I also wanted to audition for Glee too, but no, standards are too high.
Really? Well, I finally saw Perfect Pitch the other night, and I really love it. I think it's a wonderful film, and it really hit on the part that you should really concentrate on what the person has to contribute with their voice and stay away from what they look like in person, because it doesn't mean anything. It's your voice that counts. It's your talent that counts.
Exactly. And I think that they're coming out with a sequel for that too.
Well, you ought to try out for that as well. I'm a big never give up the ship type thing until they drag you off and feed you to the nearest octopus or squid. So
even then, I'm not going to give up.
You shouldn't give up. And your life story about when you started sounds quite familiar to my son, who started drawing when he got out of the womb, and he kind of progressed from there. So I understand these things. So when you play on your music, do you write your music down or do you just record it and then start playing around with it?
Well, what I do is I usually come up with the lyrics first, and then I play around with it on the instrument, or vice versa. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes I'll play around on the instrument and be like, oh, hey, this sounds good. Maybe I can write lyrics to it, and then it'll be that way. So it kind of works both ways for me.
Do you have a good ear?
I do. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I can't read music. I can't read and I can't write music. I can write songs. But I don't know anything about notes and stuff like that. Music class sucked for me. So for me, I play by ear and I create things by ear. So it's just, yeah.
I understand. I have a good ear and I have a tablet. And one of my grandkids wanted to know what kind of music I listened to when I was a little girl. And of course, in the 50s and 60s, they didn't have the technology then. So I played to her mostly show songs or musicals because that's what I was brought up on.
Those are the
And
best.
it was all by ear from what I remembered. Well, she was properly impressed and she was very happy. But I can read music, but it's been a long time. I think you have a lot more fun when you do things by ear because I think it gives you room to really embellish and go beyond the original music which you're given.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you there. I don't know. I mean, my favorite thing to do is just like try different keys and chords and just play around with it. And if it sounds good, it sounds good. And I usually ask other people for opinions. I don't usually just put it out.
Do you also have the ability to transfer what you put together on a guitar that you can also translate it to a piano or to any other type of instrument?
I'm currently working on that. I have actually started playing around with that. I haven't actually started that until recently, and I figured out that I actually can do that. It just takes me a little bit of time.
I can do that as well. I find it's very interesting because what you hear on with your ear, say, on a string instrument like a guitar or banjo, is a little bit different with the notes. Even though they're the same notes, they have a different sound when you translate them to, say, like the piano.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
very
find
true.
that very interesting for me. I just fool around with the stuff. So now that you've cut your first single, what are your plans for further getting more stuff out?
Well, right now I have about 10 songs on the go that I'm working on. I have a big book full of music that I've been working on, and my goal is to get at least an album or an EP out by the end of the year. It's my songs are basically ready to go. I just need to record them. So I can see it coming probably at the end of the year, if not the very beginning of 2016.
Now, when you put your songs together, do you have backup from your piano, say, where you can program it to where you get different types of instruments coming in to be your backup, or do you actually have a band behind you?
Right now it's just me, so I do everything on my own right now. However, the song that is released, that yeah, right, it was done with a friend, and he created the music, and I wrote the lyrics, and we worked together there. But as far as everything else, I do everything else on my own. When I go to a recording studio, I'm going to see if I can get some backup tracks to go along with it to make it sound that much better. But if I can't, then it's just going to be an acoustic set, which I also think would sound great because I've never done that before, and I'm pretty excited. I'm always willing to try new things. So.
Well, I think it's interesting when you do. I know on my piano that I have, for example, and it's an electric piano, it has something where you can add, say, the percussions with a full progression behind you, or you can put it in different type of instruments coming in, and you do that first and record it, and then you mix it, and then when you sing your song, you can play that with you in the forefront, and no one would ever know. It's just you, yourself, and I doing the darn thing.
That's a really cool tip. I should try that.
Well, it's pretty interesting. I think you ought to. I bought my piano, I think, at least 10 years ago or 8 years ago, whatever. And I find there are a lot of buttons that I still have not used. The other thing you might try, if you have a tablet, put on GarageBand.
Ooh.
GarageBand has that same type of capability. In fact, that's one of the reasons why they put it together. And it really has, I mean, you can record different tracks if you want to, of the different types of instruments that they provide for you. In fact, they have about 10 different pianos that you can use where their sounds are different.
Yep.
And if you record that first and then run those tracks with new tracks, you can impose one over the other. And no one will ever know that you did this for X amount per month for paying for your tablet. And it's none of their business, actually.
True.
So it really makes a big difference so that you can get it sounding very professional. And that's what you want. So do you have any engagements that are taking you out into cafes or restaurants or even performances?
Not at the moment, because I'm just currently trying to focus on getting my stuff together. But I have done previous performances in the past. I did a Canada Day celebration in front of 3,000 here in town. And I also did a benefit for one of our late politicians that passed away, Jack Layton. We did a benefit there for 2011, and I also performed at a bar here in town on August 21st, 2011 for Outreach for Hunger, which is our food bank here. And I've done a couple other things in between there, but nothing recently. I've been invited to an event in August, but I don't think I'm quite ready for that yet. I haven't confirmed it or not.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to leap too fast because it puts you in a difficult position if you can't deliver.
Exactly, which is kind of why I'm just focusing on getting my stuff together for this year, and we'll see where it takes me in the next year. I'm not done, and I am not anywhere near my beginning yet. This is just getting started.
This is just getting started. So tell me something. How difficult is it to get your songs out into the public? I understand it's not the way they used to do it, that it's a lot more difficult now.
Oh, it's so hard. My own city, actually, nay, my country. I've only had my song played on one station in my country, and that would only be like a half an hour away from here. And I had an interview there too, and that was back in 2012. Unfortunately, that station isn't around anymore, so there's that. And then Brock University also has my song playing on their track, but that's it. Nowhere else in Canada wants my music. I've been to LA, I've been to Singapore, and I was in Virginia this morning, and now I'm in Michigan. So I mean, I'm hitting everywhere else first, which is fine. I don't mind that. I enjoy hitting elsewhere too, but it would be nice to be able to hit my own home. But
it would. You know, the television show where everybody competes so they go for a prize in Las Vegas for $100,000. You should be interested. They're holding auditions this weekend in Detroit.
Oh, really?
If you need the information, I got it. I can send it to you. Don't ask me why. I can't sing, dance, recite poetry, or do a comedian routine. But I did receive it, and it does give you the directions of what you need to do. Plus, you have an opportunity to win a ticket that will place you at the head of the line so you can audition first.
Yeah, you know what? Give me that information. I would love that. Please and thank you.
I will send you the information after the interview. Like I said, I get some very interesting emails from time to time, and that was one of them. And I'm not noted for dancing either. I have 3 left feet. So do you have any siblings who are talented in music?
I don't. I'm an only child. So, I mean, my dad is in music, and my mom does music every once in a while. She's kind of more reserved. But, yeah, my dad's a Kenny Rogers tribute artist. So he has a show actually tomorrow, and so there's that, and then there's me. So that's basically the musically inclined.
That's okay. It will keep you busy for a long time. So
For sure.
is there any way, Tamara, that people can get in touch with you? Do you have a website? Please tell them, and then recite where you can find your Yeah Right. And if the song is right by your hand or you're not shy to sing, we would love to hear a few bars.
Well, actually, I'm kind of fighting a cold, so I would prefer not to. But for contacting me, I have a Facebook fan page. It's www.facebook.com/Ty Schwartz. That's TYSHWORTZZ. Again, that's TYSHWORTZZ. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Ty_Schwartz. And to buy my song, you can go to mvpondemand.com. That's mvpondemand.com. Go to the Core Addict store and look up Ty Schwartz, and you'll find me right there. And there's also a bio there. You can read a little bit about me and listen to the music and decide whether you like it or not.
That sounds really good. Do you have any words or advice for any budding people who write songs or sing them?
Definitely. Right now I have a song that I'm working on called Seize the Day, and it's completely related to just taking advantage of what you have and not letting someone throw your dreams away, and like going forward for your dreams. Don't let anyone or anything stop you, because if you have like the mindset of wanting to do it, then you can do it. You can achieve anything that you want to do. And my advice to young kids or to young teenagers or anyone that is trying to get into music, it's hard, but don't let that scare you and don't let that stop you, because eventually you will make it.
It's not impossible. Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you all very much for listening. Should you wish to listen to this interview with Tamara all over again, please go over to passionateworldradionetwork.com, twitter.com/PWR Network LLC, and facebook.com/PWR Network LLC. And before you go away and stray, the quote for today is about man. And Ellen Glasgow said, "There wouldn't be half as much fun in the world if it weren't for children and men, and there ain't a mite of difference between them under their skins." That's about right. Thank you all very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed listening to Tamara Schwartz this afternoon, and tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Lillian's interview, we will be interviewing Joe Crawford, a very noted comedian. So join us then. Thank you all very much for listening. And remember, please keep listening. Thank you.